ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। 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 ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ ध्यायामि चिन्मयानन्दं गुरुदेवं महामतिं प्रेमपूर्णं क्रियाशीलं सदा लोकहिते रतं कृपालुं सुन्दराकारं समर्थं सत्यदर्शिनं वाचा तत्त्वप्रकाशिन्या शोकमोहविनाशिनम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। हरि ओम, सुप्रभातम। ध्यान श्लोकास। ॐ शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। यस्य द्विरदवक्त्राद्याः पारिषद्याः परश्शतं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय कृष्णाय क्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदान्तवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे। कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वलोकहिते रतं वेदाब्जभास्करं वन्दे शमादिनिलयं मुनिम्। सहस्रमूर्ते पुरुषोत्तमस्य सहस्रनेत्राननपादबाहोः सहस्रनाम्नां स्तवनं प्रशस्तं निरुच्यते जन्मजरादिशान्त्यै। Yesterday we completed the dhyana shlokas. Now, before entering, a little more information which is very, very important, good, and lot of suggestions in that. The first one we are to take up is Anubandha Chatushtaya. Every Shastra has got this aspect initially told. It is indicated in one of the shlokas, the Anubandha Chatushtaya. Chatushtaya means 4. Anubandha, the factors that are available, that is to be known. What are the factors? First one is the Vishaya, what is being discussed. In every knowledge, Vishaya is very important. Otherwise, knowledge becomes useless, isn't it? Nothing just talks like that without any Vishaya. We have some people who keep on talking. They are called as, there's one very beautiful word is there. They always want a mic. But if you ask them to speak, there will not be any proper Vishaya in speaking. Why should they speak? They just want a mic. Think. Every Shastra must have a Vishaya properly. It has. Must have, it has. Adhikari. Who is the right qualified student? This qualification of the student is very important because it is not some degree certificate, but it is the maturity level of the student to grasp the deep meanings given in the Shastra. The qualification is not in terms of, as I said, a certificate, but qualifications, the ability to connect oneself with the subject matter and the teaching by both the Shastra as well as the Guru. That is why we require Shraddha. What does Shraddha say? Shastreshu, Guru Vakyeshu, Satya Buddhi Avadharana. Otherwise, in Tattvabodha you find Guru Shastra Vakyeshu Vishwasaha. That is very, very important. Therefore, there has to be a qualified student. And if the student is not qualified enough, then you will find that many of the teachings goes above the head. Many times people say, Swamiji, I did not understand, it went above my head, we say. What does that mean? That means I have not yet prepared myself. That basic preparation is very important. Prayojanam. Without prayojanam, nothing is taken up by anybody. They want to know what is a benefit. Therefore, prayojanam. Sambandha. As far as the Shastras are concerned, the Bhakta and the Bhagavan, the Sadhakaha and the Sadhya Vastu. That is the relationship. The student must have relation with the Guru, with the Shastra, only for the sake of gaining the knowledge. This is very important. What generally happens is they come for the sake of learning, but slowly the relationships becomes personal and Shastra is compromised. And in that personal relationships, lot of politics takes place. This is what we see in today's world. And in that politics, Shastra is completely forgotten. Think. And fight between each other. I am closer to the Acharya, I know Shastra better, therefore I have to be closer to the Acharya. All these nonsense takes place. Think. Therefore, the relationship between Sadhaka, Sadhya Vastu is extremely important. Think. Now, continuing, as far as this text is concerned, Vishaya is Sri Vishnu Sahasranama Namavalihi. And second is Adhikari. Who is Adhikari here? Moksha Ichha Mumukshuhu. Moksha Ichha Mumukshuhu means what? The one who is desirous of moksha alone. Desirous of moksha alone, when it is said, It means that student has matured enough to that extent that he is ready to give up everything. He is ready to give up everything for the sake of moksha alone. Therefore, the one who wants to gain the knowledge is the student. When it comes to the highest Vedanta, Mumukshu is the student, the Adhikari. And there are certain qualifications also that we will see later. We will see. When we talk about the description of Bhashya, we will see. The one who is desirous of moksha. What is a prayojanam? Moksha itself is prayojanam. And janma jaradi shantyai, we saw yesterday. That which quietens, which nullifies, which removes what? Janma jara adi vikaraha. What is vikaraha? Changes. Asti, jayate, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, nashyati. These vikaraha, it has to stop. Because how long do we go on taking birth? Think. So one day it has to stop. We want to attain that supreme and get out of this samsara bandhana. Therefore, janma jaradi shantyai. Freedom from changes. Sambandha, Bhakta and Bhagavan. These four aspects, Vishaya, Adhikari, Prayojanam and Sambandha, are very important. Now some of you might sit there and think, Swamiji, I have not developed this moksha ichcha. I want Swarga. Then you may change it there for the time being. It will subsequently, eventually end there. It has to end there. But currently you may say moksha, instead of moksha ichcha, you may say Swarga ichcha. Adhikaritvam is for the person who is prepared. So the preparation is required. Now if you say, Swamiji, I have no preparation, therefore can I skip Vishnu Sahasranama? You may skip. But it will fetch you nothing. So, by listening to Vishnu Sahasranama, by chanting Vishnu Sahasranama with meaning, then the mind becomes a little more purer, a little more available, little more quieter, and such a mind will again take you forward. So, for that, one has to take the step forward. Continuing. Now we say, Bhashyam. Why am I telling all this? Because we use these terms very often, and more often we don't understand. We just take it for granted. So I thought I will take a little more time for people who have not come across the real meaning. For those sadhakas, this will be a little extra information which is good, which is required. What is Bhashyam? Frankly speaking, in a simple manner we may say commentary. But Bhashyam word is used only for the commentaries given in sutras. We will explain all that. It is not actually told as Bhashyam, but we will see how it is accepted. The definition of Bhashyam is given in this shloka. Sutrartho varnyate yatra padai sutranusaribhihi swapadani cha varnyante bhashyam bhashyavido viduhu. Sutrartho varnyate. It is only sutra which is actually said. But what has happened? We have taken for everything, we have taken Bhashyam. If you see even Vishnu Sahasranama Bhashyam, they say. I will explain how actually it comes. Sutrartho varnyate. What is the sutra? Sutra are called cryptic aphorisms. Those deep truth explained in simple sentences. What do you mean by simple sentences? Even sutra has got a definition. Alpaksharam asandigdham saravat vishwatomukham astobhyam anavadyam cha sutram sutravido viduhu. What is a sutram? Alpaksharam, minimum and precise words. Alpaksharam, very, very minimum word. It is not a big, long, description. Minimum words. Asandigdham. Now here you have to understand it properly. Doubtless. But actually speaking, the minimum words, because it does not give the description, common man would not be able to understand. But that doesn't mean that it creates doubts. It creates doubts in those people who have not yet prepared themselves to understand such advanced presentation. Otherwise, by itself, it is absolutely clear and doubtless. Right? It is something like saying a 4th standard child sitting in BCom class. Naturally, doubt will come. Why the doubts will come? Because the child does not understand the concepts clearly. Otherwise, in the BCom class, the one who has understood, who has gone through all the subjects, he will be able to understand. Debit, credit, he will be able to understand. The child would not be able to understand. Think. Similarly, asandigdham, doubtless. Saravat, even though it is just one sentence. That one sentence, many times a sutra is only one word. Prema Swarupacha, says Narada Bhakti Sutra. Prema Swarupacha, that's all, only one word. Then there is a lot of description. What does that Prema Swarupacha mean? Think. So with deep meaning, now we are not going to conduct Narada Bhakti Sutra classes or something like that, or classes on Sutra. It is only a little explanation, a little information. Saravat Vishwatomukham. Vishwatomukham meaning what? It is analyzed from all standpoints. Viewed and analyzed from all standpoints. Meaning that small word has got meaning which can cater to different standpoints of the sadhaka. Vishwatomukham. Astobhyam. Astobhyam meaning it is not just some stories. It is purely logical. It is very, very coherent in its nature. Meaning it is not something imagined. It is purely logical. No superstition. No fanatism. Okay. Astobhyam. Anavadhyam cha. It has no blemish in itself. If we find any flaw, if we find any blemish, that means we have not understood it properly. It is something like, I see something, I cannot see something properly, I don't go and change that thing. What do? I remove my glass and I wipe my glass. Why? There could be some dirt. Or what do? I wipe my eyes and then wear the glass. And when I see, it is clear. So nothing has to be done outside. Clarity must come from within. Therefore, anavadhyam, it is blemishless. It is flawless. And then such a description in the very cryptic form is called sutram. And who says that? Sutravidaha viduhu. The one who knows what exactly is sutram, it is they who have called it sutram and they have described it in this fashion. Then, next point in this is, because it is in the sutra form, it is abstract. What do I mean by abstract? It is so crisp And as I said earlier, you must have known the preconditions to know what exactly it depicts. I'll give you an example. We have Brahma Sutra, we have Narada Bhakti Sutra, we have Shandilya Sutra. All of them start, the very first sutra is Athato Brahma Jignasa in Brahma Sutram, Athato Bhaktim Vyakyasyamaha in Narada Bhakti Sutra, Athato Bhakti Jignasa in Shandilya Bhakti Sutra. Now these sutras, these are the first beginning sentence is Athato. What does Athato mean? It means now therefore we will talk about Bhakti. Now therefore we will talk about Brahman. What do you mean by now therefore? Now we will talk about is understandable. Therefore, Ataha. Why is it said? It means, it indicates a prerequisite, a precondition. Therefore, this is being taught. What is it? Therefore, all this has been studied and the student has prepared himself to this much, and therefore, this can be taught to the student. First PUC classroom I sit down, or the 11th standard classroom I sit down. Therefore, if they say meaning what? Since you have studied this subject in the previous classes up to 10th, I am not going to explain in detail the previous portion. I will start from here. In this class also I had said, there is no recap. Why there is no recap? It is available in YouTube, not because you have studied everything completely. It is available in YouTube. You can go there and refer, and then when you come, and I continue from there. Now therefore. Now this abstract terminologies, which are given in the form of sutra, requires explanation. For whom? For a common man. And therefore, Acharya Shankara, who wrote the commentary for the sutras and the description of the sutra, calls it Bhashyam. It is called Bhashyam, Sutraha. Right? Then why everything is called Sutram, everything is called Bhashyam? There are these two important factors. Bhashyam is described as one which has got Yaugikartha, and the second one is called Rudhyartha. Yaugikartha is that which is traditional. The traditional way of writing sutras, for example. But over the decadence of time, Rudhi, we say. What is Rudhi? Routines. Casually said. And it is so much said casually that people have accepted it. Think like how I spoke about meditation. Meditation, we loosely use that word meditation. And I described. Actually, they are not meditation. They are quietening the mind. A sadhana for keeping the mind quiet. A sadhana for keeping the mind channelized in analysis of Brahman. That is the purpose of meditation. Meaning what? I quieten my mind and I take this as a sadhana for what? So that I prepare the mind, I quieten the mind, and with that quietened mind, I analyze. The whole thing cannot be called meditation. Why? Meditation is a noun. It is not a verb. But then we use meditation. And people are wonderful. Our people are, excellent. They will start a business out of everything. Now, meditation is a beautiful business. Think. Transcendental meditation. Instant transformation through meditation. Think. And people fall prey. Why? Because they hear the word meditation. Because meditation is loosely taken. And here, Rudhyartaha meaning what? That which has been taken commonly. Therefore, Vishnu Sahasranama Bhashya is taken, accepted, and people accept it. But frankly speaking, other than the Sutram, all other explanations, commentaries are called Vyakhyanam. It is not Bhashyam, technically speaking. But since over years and centuries it has come like that, it has been accepted everywhere. Therefore, Rudhyartha Bhashyam iti uchyate. Right? Therefore, this is Bhashyam. Now, a small background what happened and how Vishnu Sahasranama came into picture. Mahabharata, as we all know, is a dialogue. As I have stated here, in Puranas and Itihasas, it is always presented in direct speech. Itihasas especially mean iti ha asa. This is how it happened. It is a record. It is a report, we may say. This is what happened. This is how it happened. Iti ha asa. So, when the report is being given, it is always given in direct speech. Even in Bhagavad Gita we have seen. What? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Sanjaya Uvacha, Dhritarashtra Uvacha, Arjuna Uvacha. Similarly, the next shloka what we are going to take says, Vaishampayana Uvacha. Thus spoke Vaishampayana. Thus spoke Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Thus spoke meaning what? It is a direct report. Therefore, the question whether it really happened should not arise. Then one may say, Swamiji, these are all written by Veda Vyasji. Tell me something. You are accepting the modern science and everything, social studies and everything, but this has come from thousands of years. And you doubt that? You have no doubts in whatever happening in the world around me, all nonsense what happens, you have no doubt. You have faith, trust in all the people and all and sundry around me, but you don't have faith in the Rishi culture. Accept. And two, what do they teach? They teach that they give us that supreme knowledge for our own good. So what? Accept it, learn, understand, abide. Think. It is for that this Shastra has been given. Think. Uvacha. That is why it is said Uvacha. Therefore, it is a direct recount. This Vishnu Sahasranama is a dialogue between Ugrashravas and sage Shaunaka. Naimisharanya is a very well-known place. Today it is a spot. Tourists go there. But it is such a very traditional place. In the Naimisharanya forests, Shaunaka Maharshi with other rishis, group of rishis, were conducting a very long yajna. Dirgha, there is one word. Sarata or something, one word is the right word, I will find out. Long, Dirgha sadhana. Long, years together that Yajna Yaga was conducted. And while they were there conducting these Yajna Yagas, Ugrashravas went. Now I will not go back and start finding out the source, who is this Ugrashravas and all. We will take it at that because there is no end to going behind. Finally we will have to come to Vishnu Sahasranama. Ugrashravas, when he visited the hermitage, the ashram of sage Shaunaka, all the rishis sat down and requested him, Ugrashavas to teach something new so that their sadhana improves. This was our culture. When you go to a guru, what is to be asked? Swamiji, what breakfast did you have? I have a little more time. Can I make some bajji vada bonda for you? Think. When elderly people come home, earlier days, past tense, when elderly, well-informed, educated people, learned people come at home, the parents will bring all the children and make them sit down. Elderly person has come, sit down. And then they will say, please say some nice words. Let my children learn something. Olden days. These days, they send the children away. Go and study. You have nothing to do here. And what do they speak? All laukika things only. Whereas those days, they were called to talk about Shastra. Talk about goodness. So they asked Ugrashavas, please tell us something new. Please tell us something which would enrich our knowledge, which will strengthen our sadhana. And Ugrashavas gave them the Mahabharata story. Now, where did he get it from? That this one is given. Ugrashavas heard it from Sri Vaishampayana. But sage Vaishampayana did not talk to Ugrashavas directly. Vaishampayana was talking to Janamejaya. And who is Janamejaya? He is the son of King Parikshit. These are all information. Just to tell you the descendant, how did it come down? That Vishnu Sahasranama, how did it come down? Parikshit's son Janamejaya heard it from sage Vaishampayana. So it was a dialogue between Vaishampayana and Janamejaya. If you see the, I will use the Rudhyartha Shabda, Bhashya on Vishnu Sahasranama. Acharya Shankara writes, he starts. Now how do we chant regularly? Vaishampayana uvacha Shrutva dharmana sheshena pavanani cha sarvashah Yudhishthira shantanavam punarevabhya bhashata. And then Yudhishthira uvacha, etc. Vaishampayana uvacha is regularly chanted. But Acharya writes in the Bhashyam, Vaishampayano Janamejayam uvacha. He writes there to indicate Vaishampayana Rishi spoke to Janamejaya. Therefore, what Ugrashavas spoke to Shaunaka and the Rishis were spoken by Vaishampayana to Janamejaya. And Ugrashavas heard them and then transferred it to Shaunaka and Maharshis. This is how it came. And sage Vaishampayana, who got it from sage Vedavyasa himself. Think. And therefore, sage Vaishampayana brings out the dialogue between Yudhishthira and Bhishma. That is how Yudhishthira uvacha. The next shloka comes. We will come there. When we come there, we will talk about it. Yudhishthira spoke to Bhishma. Shantanavam, it is given. We will come to that after this first shloka. What does it say? We will chant it first. Vaishampayano Janamejayamuvacha Vaishampayano Janamejayamuvacha Vaishampayano Janamejayamuvacha. For the understanding, we are now chanting this. Otherwise, in the Rudhi, in the routine, this one, Vaishampayana uvacha Shrutva dharmana sheshena Shrutva Shrutva dharmanasheshena. Shrutva dharmanasheshena. Pavanani cha sarvashah. Pavanani cha sarvashah. Pavanani cha sarvashah. Yudhishthirashantanavam. 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 Punarevabhyabhashata. 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 Shri Vaishampayana uvacha. Shrutva dharmanasheshena pavanani cha sarvashah. Yudhishthirashantanavam punarevabhyabhashata. Dharman or pavanani dharman asheshena sarvashah shrutva. Dharman here includes the knowledge of dharma, which also includes karma. Pavanani. Pavanani meaning what? That which purifies. Dharma is that which purifies the mind. Pavanani dharman asheshena sarvashah shrutva. Asheshena without leaving out anything. Sarvashah in completeness. Shrutva having heard. Yudhishthiraha. Yudhishthiraha is a very, very beautiful word. Yudhi sthiraha iti yudhishthiraha. The one who is firm in the war field. In the Kshatriya Dharma, all the names would be like that only. In the Tamil Nadu side, we say Veera Pandya Kattabomman. Like that, we have a Nama. What is that? Veera Pandyan. Veera means power, prowess, bravery. So, like that, Yudhishthiraha means Yudhi Sthiraha. Yudhishthiraha Shantanavam. Shantanavam, son of Shantanu, who is Bhishmacharya. Bhishmacharya is a very, very, very highly knowledgeable person. Shantanavam punareva abhyabhashata. Punaha eva, again abhyabhashata, meaning he asked, he questioned. Now, in the story it goes that Yudhishthira has heard everything. Sarvashah dharman shrutva. Meaning what? Everything about karma. Everything about karma for purification. Everything about prayaschitta karma, which again has to be done. Having performed karma, any flaws, any dosha, prayaschitta has to be performed. Therefore, he even heard about prayaschitta karma. And what has to be done, what must not be done. Vidhi Nisheda. Everything was taught to Yudhishthira. All said and done, he has definitely learnt everything, but then there is always a small factor which says, I know all that, but how many of us are suffering with this but? Think. This but with 3 dots, B-U-T, it indicates that my heart is not feeling complete. I am not feeling fulfilled. I don't have that feeling of sense of completeness in me, even though I have learnt everything. So Yudhishthira must have told Krishna, Sri Krishna, Bhagavan, this is my problem. Bhima and others are very enjoying. They are happy. They are celebrating. Why? They have won the war already. This situation is after the war, mind you. After the Kurukshetra war. So they are all in the celebration mode. Bhishma, etc. Yudhishthira, Yudhishthira went and asked. He is also called Dharmaraja. He went and asked. On the other days, one talk I made one mistake. I said Krishna's father. It is Krishna's uncle. In the flow of thought, by mistake, I had told Krishna's father. It is not Krishna's father, it is Krishna's uncle who was wanting to kill him. Coming back, Yudhishthira asked, I want to know, I am not feeling happy. Why am I not feeling happy? Because I have killed so many people. All my own relations. And therefore, my mind is feeling guilty. My mind is suffering from those thoughts as, why should all this be done? Remember, Arjuna also had got the same thing. That is how Bhagavan Sri Krishna had to give the 701 shlokas. Is it not? I am feeling very down. I cannot fight this war. He threw his arrow, bow and arrow down. Yudhishthira, after the war, feels guilty that he has killed so many people. And therefore he comes and asks, I am not feeling comfortable. There is a sense of guilt in me. Please bring me out of it. After listening to everything, remember. And it was then Bhishma Pitamaha gives the knowledge. And Yudhishthira asks 6 questions, we will see. And Bhishma Pitamaha first answers all of them and then prescribes the best way to come out of all such mental torture, mental disturbance, is chant Vishnu Sahasranama. Please note, if a person like Bhishma Pitamaha had to give Yudhishthira, Dharmaraja, what? Chant this and you will come out of such issues. If he has to give, it cannot be an ordinary thing. It is very, very powerful. That is why Acharya said, Geyam Gita Nama Sahasram. One has to chant daily. Why? It is purificatory. And he said, for that sake, if you chant, your mind will quieten. You will come out of all such doubts. So he answers the 6 questions first. In the forthcoming Dhyana Shlokas we will see. And then he prescribes Vishnu Sahasranama, which we will take up. Now here, please note, we are performing actions indiscriminately in this world outside. We need to restrict ourselves, quieten the mind, and act judiciously now itself so that we may be able to gain the full benefit. In fact, mind has to be prepared. Adhikaritvam is very, very important. Mind has to be prepared even to gain the knowledge of such great, factors, that great truth, which we will continue tomorrow. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्।